Metroids are an organism that can grab onto their victims and are able to suck the life out of them. They were created through the collaboration between the Chozo and Mother Brain, a biological supercomputer, to be able to attack and extinct the X-parasites. It is believed that the Metroids started to be at the top of the food chain and started taking over planet SR-388. SR-388 was once the homeland of the Chozo, but due to the Metroids taking over, this made them flee the planet. The Chozo were a highly intelligent bird-like race that are responsible for raising the main protagonist here, Samus Aran. The death of Samus's parents were due to Ridley, a dragon-like antagonist of the game who attacked Samus's home planet and is a high-ranked general/leader of the space pirates. Going back to planet SR-388, the Galactic Federation went in and discovered the Metroids and acquired multiple specimens for research. It wasn't until one of these ships were making their way back to HQ that the ship was attacked by space pirates. The pirates took the Metroids to planet Zebes. With this info in mind, the Galactic Federation sent out an emergency order to a Samus Aran, who is now an intergalactic bounty hunter, to exterminate all of the Metroids and the mechanical lifeform called Mother Brain. Going into planet Zebes, Samus talks about how this was once a place she called home during peaceful times, and how this is the tale of her first battle, her Zero mission. Samus arrives at the Space Pirates base and travels around the many caves and secrets this planet has. She also fights two Space Pirates generals, being Kraid and the other one being Ridley, the one who unalived Samus's parents. After her battle against the two, she now sets her focus on attacking Mother Brain, who is the main leader of the Space Pirates. What makes Mother Brain so unique as well is that it was also created by the Chozo. She was, as I mentioned, an artificial intelligence, but turned against the Chozo to then lead the Space Pirates. Once Samus defeats Mother Brain, a self-destruct sequence starts. Making her way out, Samus is able to get into her ship, but as she was leaving, it was shot down by Space Pirates. She then landed on what seems to be ruins that were created by the Chozo. Going through the ruins, she made her way into a room that provided Samus a test. Samus was successful and was provided a fully powered suit. She then tries to make her way out, but runs into Meta Ridley, a cybernetic version of Ridley, and after defeating Ridley for the second time, Samus was able to locate another ship to use and escape the planet. After the events of the first Metroid game, the Galactic Federation were concerned for the Space Pirates to make a return to planet SR-388 to capture more Metroids. The Federation sent out a special squadron of elite soldiers to go into the planet and investigate, but the team soon went missing. Analytical data was sent out to HQ to confirm Metroid presence within the interior of the planet. The Galactic Federation considered the Metroids to be a threat to the galaxy, so with this in mind, they went ahead and called in Samus Aran once again to travel into SR-388 and exterminate all of the Metroids. Samus landed on the planet and traversed all of the caves and systems in the planet and eliminated every single bug-looking Metroid to have mutated. She then discovered the queen of the Metroids in the depths and eliminates it. After defeating the queen, Samus spots an egg that soon hatches a baby Metroid. Samus, ready to shoot, doesn't as she notices the baby circling around her. In a way, this baby Metroid recognized Samus as its own mother. Samus decides to take the baby with her, but as she was making her way back to her ship, Ridley swooped in and snatched the baby. As the final battle commences, Ridley seems to be winning until the baby reacts and protects Samus, siphoning a bit of the life out of Ridley and gives it to Samus. Samus was able to defeat Ridley and fly off the planet. The last Metroid is in captivity. The galaxy is at peace. As Samus left planet SR-388 with the new baby Metroid, Samus flies to a galactic research station at Ceres so scientists could study its energy-producing qualities of the baby Metroid. The scientists were able to discover that the power of the Metroid could be harnessed for the good of civilization. Samus left the station but soon received a distress signal coming back from the Ceres station saying that they were under attack. Samus returns to the station and sees the baby Metroid but is soon then snatched again by Ridley. A self-destruct sequence soon goes into effect and Samus escapes the station. Samus returns to the home of the Space Pirates planet, Zebes. Samus returns to the same HQ you destroyed in the first game to recover the baby Metroid. Throughout this adventure, she battles Ridley again, but Kraid and a new general named Phantoon as well. Samus later discovers the baby is not with Ridley, but the baby seems to have escaped and is siphoning the life out of everything. The baby attacks Samus, almost siphoning her energy until it realizes that this is Samus, its mother. The baby is cooing as a way to say that they are sorry. Samus later on discovers the lair of Mother Brain, and in this final showdown was almost successful until Mother Brain does a massive amount of damage against Samus using her rainbow beam. With Samus down, the baby Metroid comes out of nowhere to protect its mother and siphon the life out of Mother Brain. Mother Brain was able to destroy the baby Metroid, but before so, the Metroid was able to do massive amount of damage to Mother Brain and as well heal Samus and provide her with the Hyper Beam, a very powerful weapon to eliminate Mother Brain once and for all. After eliminating Mother Brain, Samus was able to escape planet Zebes as the whole planet self-destructs, destroying the planet in the process. After the events that transpired in Planet Zebes, Samus returns back to SR-388 with a surveillance crew known as BSL. Exploring the planet, Samus gets attacked by a parasite organism called the X-Parasite. This organism was thought to be extinct, but since the Metroids are no more, the last few that stayed hidden re-emerged again. The Metroids were a massive threat to the X-Parasite, as in a way you can say that the Metroids were naturally designed to counter them. Though, now that the Metroids are extinct, this allows the X-Parasite to be the one on top of the food chain. Samus attempted to make her way back to the BSL station but loses consciousness and drifts into an asteroid belt, crashing. The BSL ship that was near recovers Samus and transfers her to the Galactic Federation's HQ. At HQ, the doctors there had to surgically remove Samus' suit from her body, noticing that the parasite was in fact infecting her central nervous system. Luckily, they were able to discover a cure for Samus, as the baby Metroid the scientists did studies on were able to use its cells and combine it with Samus to heal her. Once Samus recovered, she discovered an explosion occurred at the BSL station and is sent out to investigate. The mission is overseen by her new gunship's computer. Samus names the gunship Atom, as that was the name of her former commanding officer, who she had massive respect for. Samus learns that the X-Parasite has taken over the ship and as well learn how dangerous the parasite is. The X-Parasite is able to replicate its host's physical appearance, and since Samus was infected, there is an X-Parasite called the SAX, who helped take over the ship and is mimicking Samus. Samus is able to avoid the SAX at the space station and is able to defeat monsters infected with the X-Parasite that can provide Samus her abilities once again, but Samus also discovers a lab containing Metroids. Thought to again be extinct by her, Samus is told by Atom that the Federation was secretly breeding the Metroids. She also is informed that the SAX has asexually reproduced, cloning itself. Atom asks Samus to leave the station right away. Making her way to her ship, the computer orders Samus to leave the rest of the mission to the Federation, as they plan on capturing the SAX for military purposes. But Samus, knowing that the Federation cannot fight against the SAX, she decides to instead destroy the station. Although Atom does at first attempt to stop Samus from doing so, it then says that it can alter the station's propulsions and make it go straight into planet SR-388, destroying the station and the planet altogether. During this talk, Samus also was able to learn that Atom is actually the consciousness of her former commanding officer that was uploaded after his death. After setting course to the BSL station to crash into SR-388, Samus prepares to leave, but it is then confronted by an Omega Metroid. An SAX also appears but is destroyed by that Omega Metroid, and then is assisted on Samus to absorb the X-Parasite to get her Ice Beam to defeat the Omega Metroid. Samus gets into a ship and escapes the station just in time before it crashes into the planet, destroying it in the process. The X and Metroids were just memories, or so we thought. The Galactic Federation received a mysterious video transmission. It showed an X alive in the wild. Thorough analysis proved that the video was actually in fact real. The sender was mysterious but was pinging at a planet known as ZDR. If the X-Parasite is not dealt with, it would pose a threat to the entire galaxy. So, the Galactic Federation dispatched a team of 7 EMMI, or Emmys, to investigate ZDR. Emmy is a large research robot designed to capture field samples and extract their DNA. Emmys are made of the strongest plating in the universe and as well have incredible mobility, which should have guaranteed the mission's success. But as soon as they arrived, all communication was lost. It is up to Samus to visit the planet ZDR and investigate for the X-Parasite, and as well find out what could have happened to the Emmys, as she is once again, due to her Metroid DNA, she is the only one immune to the X-Parasite. Upon her landing, she awakens herself confused until her memory quickly returns to her, remembering the events that happened. Making her way into the depths of a facility, she is greeted by a mysterious figure, a Chozo. It attacks Samus. As the battle goes on, the Chozo attempts to do a strong attack, but Samus was able to parry it, giving Samus a chance to shoot a missile, leaving a scar on the head of the potential Chozo warrior. Angered by this, the Chozo grabbed Samus ready to do a devastating attack, but when Samus was fading, something kicked in. That was all Samus was able to remember. She continued on exploring the facility, leading her to a networking station, allowing Samus to speak briefly with Adam, and Adam explains to Samus that the changes and previous abilities that she had have now been stripped away from her. He actually goes ahead and calls it physical amnesia. Adam also confirmed with Samus the assailant was in fact a Chozo, but his true identity is still unclear. Adam informed Samus that she is likely in the deep depths of the planet and should find a way to return to the surface and get to her ship. Adam also warns Samus of the potential environment she will encounter on her way out, and the lack of communication between her and Adam is also due to underground interference. With that, Samus made her way through the depths. While exploring, Samus was able to make her first encounter with one of the Emmys, and Samus was able to escape its grasp, and the Emmy, seeming to be in a weak state, was able to help Samus escape into an interesting room. In the center there was a central unit with it, and Samus was able to take its energy and transform her arm cannon into an Omega cannon. With it was able to charge up a powerful blast attack to shoot open the door. With this also, she was also able to return to the previous room and eliminate the Emmy. In doing so, the Omega cannon depleted and returned to its regular arm cannon. Samus continued exploring, leading her to an interesting door given an ominous vibe, and she then encountered a second Emmy, but her standard arm cannon and missiles were no match. Realizing the only thing that she can do is run, she was able to keep her distance, but the Emmys, as she would soon find out, were persistent. She was able to escape and access a new networking station and speak with Adam again. Adam was able to inform Samus that both Emmys and likely future Emmys she would run will likely be hostile and attack her. Adam warns Samus to stay off their line of sight and to be careful when they enter surveillance mode, as they will try their best to track Samus. Adam also informed Samus that the areas that gave off the ominous vibes are known as Emmy zones, and if being pursued by an Emmy, they will seal off the exits, trapping Samus. What she must do is to leave the range of pursuit and evade the Emmy, as they will disengage and unseal the exits. Emmys will never leave their assigned zones, as their control system only allows them to operate within that range, and Adam continues saying that there is likely a 99% probability of death if an Emmy captures Samus, though there is a 1% chance for Samus to escape if captured, and the window to do so is virtually impossible. Samus currently lacks the weapons to defeat an Emmy, and is recommended by Adam to just run and evade capture in Emmy zones. Samus continued on her journey, finding rooms with upgrades and a map station to help her explore Arteria. Samus soon discovers a room with a Chozo statue, giving her one of many upgrades you will find, this first one being the Charge Beam. As Samus continues on exploring, she returns to speak with Adam, and he informs Samus of the Chozo assailant having no record in the Federation database, but there are records of a Chozo warrior tribe. Adam continues believing that the footage of the X-Parasite was likely staged to lure Samus here. Though the situation is unclear, Samus' priority is to return to her ship. Samus was soon able to locate a room with a strange enemy. Destroying its armor revealed it to be an eyeball on a brain, and after taking it down, Samus noticed it gave off some blue energy. Touching it, it was able to provide Samus with the Omega Cannon once again. Samus found the same energy from the central unit. In doing so, the Emmy in the area was made aware of Samus' holding this power, again making it aggressively chase her down, but thankfully Samus, as with the first Emmy, was able to unleash a devastating shot destroying the Emmy. Doing so provided Samus with the Spider Magnet upgrade. Samus was able to locate a room with a Chozo statue in it, and Samus got distracted staring at it when Corpius, a monster having the ability to cloak itself, attacked Samus. Samus was able to take down the monster, and with it was able to get the Phantom Cloak upgrade. With these new abilities, Samus was able to continue exploring and make her way to Cataris. Within Cataris, Adam informed Samus that Cataris is filled with rooms of lava. With the current suit that Samus possesses, she is unable to enter any of these rooms due to high temperature. Adam also informed Samus of a shuttle so she can continue on her journey, and with that, thanks to the new Phantom Cloak ability, she is now able to hide from Emmys, allowing her to bypass them. Samus going through Cataris was able to locate a new Emmy room, and the Emmy almost caught Samus by surprise, but Samus was able to use her Phantom Cloak to make herself invisible. By now, you guys are likely all wondering what Emmy means. Our next encounter with Adam, he informs us that Emmy stands for Extraplanetary Multiform Mobile Identifier. Adam also informs Samus that she should accept her helplessness even with her upgrades. Adam informs Samus that if she was to find more of the unique abilities she's possessed to destroy these Emmys, to do so. Using the shuttle that Adam mentioned earlier, it led Samus to a new area called Daron. While here, she was able to get the next upgrade being the Wide Beam, and using the new Wide Beam, it led her to another Emmy room. In it, she encountered the Emmy, but was just barely able to escape. For now, Samus left Daron and returned back to Cataris to use her new Wide Beam to enter the central unit to gather the ability to take out the next Emmy. And with the Emmy down, Samus now got granted her most iconic ability, the Morph Ball. Little by little, Samus was regaining her lost abilities, and she returned once again to Arteria using the help of a teleporter and continuing her journey there. This led her to find her iconic suit, the Varia suit. With it, Samus was able to now enter areas with extreme heat using this suit, and both Arteria and Cataris was able to assist her in continuing her journey. Returning back to Cataris, Samus was able to hear the screams of something within. Following these screams led her to a room to encounter a chained old nemesis of hers, Kraid. After a hellish battle, Samus was able to defeat Kraid, having him burn in lava. And after the battle, this led Samus to take a small crevice to escape the area and encounter a room with the Chozo statue containing the next upgrade, the Diffusion Beam. This also led Samus to another teleporter, taking her back to Daron. Samus spoke with Adam again, and he informed Samus that Daron is a biological research laboratory. Samus should locate the next generator and reactivate it once she has already done so with one. She also informed Samus that she still has no idea as to why she lost her abilities, but informed Samus that she is slowly recovering her abilities from the looks of it. Once Samus turned on the second generator, she was able to locate more of her abilities and upgrades such as the bombs, and with the newly required bombs, this was able to assist Samus in making her way to a new area called Berenia. In Berenia, Adam spoke with Samus that if she would like to travel in the submerged area, it would be wise of Samus to upgrade her suit to the Gravity suit, as well as to get the grapple beam and space jump, as it will also assist Samus in maneuvering underwater. Samus continued forward and was able to locate a new ability called the Flash Shift, and with Flash Shift, Samus was able to use it to find a new shutter that led her back to Daron. This new location of Daron was also able to assist Samus in finding a new central unit to upgrade her arm cannon once again and destroy another Emmy. And with the destruction of this Emmy, this was able to provide Samus with her speed booster ability. Samus then returned back to Asteria and was able to locate the grapple beam as well. With the help of the grapple beam, Samus was able to get to a new area called Ferenia. Not only a new area for her to explore, but leading her closer to her ship. As Samus was exploring Ferenia, she was also able to locate a mirror on the wall showing the Chozo warrior we encountered in the beginning of the game. This led Samus to have a twitch on her hand until an Emmy shot and broke into the wall, grabbing Samus, but was stopped all of a sudden. Hearing footsteps approaching her, she quickly turned, revealing a Chozo, but not the same Chozo warrior we first encountered. They explained that their name is Quiet Robe, a scientist from the Thohar tribe. They explained that the Chozo warrior that attacked Samus was named Ravenbeak. Ravenbeak possesses super physical prowess and intelligence and is the leader of the Chozo warrior tribe called the Makin. Quiet Robe retells the story of them being aided by the Makin. They managed to contain the Metroids that were running rampant on SR-388. The original intention was to eradicate the Metroids by destroying the planet, but Ravenbeak prevented that due to him seeing that the Metroids were symbolic of a power great enough to rule the galaxy. Ravenbeak wanted to bring the Metroid to ZDR and use them as bioweapons. First, he needed the aid of the Thoha tribe, who possessed the ability to control the Metroids, thus the reason Quiet Robe was spared. Ravenbeak and the Makin tribe took Quiet Robe to ZDR so they can start preparing the gatherings for Metroids, but were forced to put it on hold as one of the soldiers who returned from SR-388 was an X in disguise. This caused ZDR to go into chaos as all of the soldiers were infected by the X. Once Ravenbeak was able to contain them, he decided to return to the original plan of controlling the Metroids, but the Metroids on SR-388 were eradicated by the hands of Samus. With the Metroids now extinct, Ravenbeak's plan should have been dealt with, but he decided to start a new plan. Command the Emmys to extract the Metroid DNA within Samus. And with this, Samus tells Quiet Robe,
Kino ulo turuta. Ana maril sanur pura. Ay marhel kalom.
Quiet Robe informed Samus of her next steps to take as he was able to unlock a gate for her. As they were finishing their conversation, a robotic Chozo warrior arrives out of nowhere and strikes Quiet Robe, unfortunately taking his life. As Samus finished eliminating the robot Chozo warrior, she continues on her journey, making her way to Berenia to go to the gate Quiet Robe opened. Before arriving to Berenia, Samus has a conversation with Adam again, further detailing the information Quiet Robe informed us of. Adam states that Ravenbeak lured Samus to ZDR as he wants the Metroid DNA that is inside of Samus. Adam also informed Samus that Quiet Robe was able to deactivate all of the remaining Emmys, making it so Samus can reach the surface unthreatened. Samus, heading towards Berenia, was able to go through the gate Quiet Robe opened for her. She continued onward, leading her to an underwater room where she will meet her next foe, Drogaiga. After defeating the monster, she made her way through Berenia, where she found a new teleporter taking her to Gavarin. In Gavarin, Samus faces another robotic Chozo warrior, and after defeating it, Samus marches onwards and is able to communicate once again to Adam, informing her that she is approaching the surface. He also informs Samus that currently, even with the full recovery of her abilities, she is still no match against Ravenbeak. One thing that Adam also fails to understand is, why did Ravenbeak spare Samus during their first encounter? Samus continues on her journey and is able to locate upgrades again in Gavrin, such as the super missiles. Finding a shutter, Samus was able to make her way to Elon. Yet marching forward, Samus is met with a giant door that mysteriously opens and shuts behind her, leading her into a dark room containing bots scanning her. After the scanning is complete, another door forward opens up. Continuing on, she is met with a glob-looking enemy, but after eliminating one, an X-Parasite seems to be the one behind controlling it. Defeating the monsters and absorbing the X-Parasite, refilling Samus' health and ammo, is the way to defeat them. If not, then the X-Parasite will transform once again to a gelatinous gunk monster. In Elon, Samus was able to locate herself upgrades such as the Plasma Beam. Continuing onward, Samus is met with another Chozo warrior, but this time is infected by the X-Parasite. After defeating the monsters, Samus walks back towards the Elon shuttle, only to see the outside covered in X-Parasites flying around. Making her way back towards Gavrin, an unfortunate event occurs. Cryorobe's body is infected by the X-Parasite, and in this form, Cryorobe returns the Emmys back into their working state, hunting Samus once again. Speaking with Adam, he states that the X have been released from their confinement and scattered across the planet, likely the work of Ravenbeak. Adam does remind Samus that thanks to her Metroid DNA, she is able to absorb the X-Parasite, but to hurry to her ship. Continuing on in Gavrin, Samus was able to locate herself further upgrades to continue on her journey, as well as eliminate more of the corrupt Chozo warriors. Samus was also able to locate and use the energy from a central unit station once again to upgrade her arm cannon and eliminate another Emmy. Eliminating the Emmy provided her with the ice missiles, allowing Samus now to enter areas she couldn't before. One new area led Samus to a mysterious Chozo statue holding a cube. While Samus gets closer, she is able to consume the cube and providing her with the new ability, the Pulse Radar. Finding a new shuttle, Samus was able to travel to Ferenia. Speaking with Adam, he informs Samus that the X seems to have made Ferenia its home and that there is an unusually powerful X nearby. Also warns Samus that the Emmy in this area is reactivated as well. Going through Ferenia, Samus finds a room with Chozo statues and with some indications of X really turning Ferenia as its central hive. Killing a powerful X boss provided Samus with the storm missiles, allowing Samus now to lock up to 5 targets and fire a barrage of guided missiles. Not only is this perfect for enemies, but this is also perfect for Samus to continue through Ferenia. Continuing in Ferenia, eliminated 2 Chozo warriors at the same time and finding herself a new upgrade, she soon found herself traveling back to Barinia. And while here, Samus was able to get more upgrades but found herself the gravity suit, allowing her to move normally underwater, as well as reduce damage taken from enemy attacks and as well insulate Samus from extreme cold and lava. Speaking with Adam, he informs Samus that the X at this point have likely now taken over every living organism on the planet, as well as notice that the planet's temperature has started to fall. Proceed with caution, Adam reiterates to Samus. Samus continues on her journey, returning back to Arteria, which has turned into a frozen, icy landscape. While on Arteria, Samus faced another infected Chozo warrior, spoke with Adam again, and learned that the thermal energy is no longer being routed from Cataris, making the planet cool rapidly. Adam also informed Samus to go to Cataris to eliminate the X that is likely taking control of the thermal energy. It is vital Samus does this, as there's an ability there that Samus needs to progress further. Going to Cataris and reaching the room, Samus is faced with the cause of the issue and an enemy infected by the X virus called experiment number Z-57. Eliminating it allowed the gunk around the vents to disappear, making the thermal energy return. With this, Samus made her way back to Arteria, and in doing so, she was able to locate her next key ability, Screw Attack. Finishing searching more upgrades in Arteria and speaking with Adam once more, Adam congratulated Samus on recovering Screw Attack and as well as stopping the planets from cooling. He also informed Samus that though she is far stronger than how she was when she first started her journey here, she is still not prepared to face Ravenbeak yet. Continuing on, she goes ahead and heads towards Gavrin once again and continues exploring and finding more upgrades such as the cross bomb along the way. Finding a new shuttle, it led Samus to a new area known as Hanubia. This is also the area where her ship is at, meaning Samus is now arriving the surface. Briefing with Adam, he informs Samus that he will try to locate for an update on the location of Ravenbeak and as well inform Samus that destroying the planet is the only way to eliminate the X-Parasites. Though Ravenbeak will likely not sit idly and will attempt to stop Samus, with this info so, Samus returned to Ferenia to finish unfinished business and retain her wave beam. Samus returned to Hanubia and discovers an area where it seems like a lot of enemies Samus has encountered are being kept in pods. One of the enemies breaks out, but Samus doesn't immediately shoot it. Instead, Samus is stuck in a trance-like state with her arm glowing red. Gaining control back, Samus eliminates the monster, not understanding what exactly just happened. Continuing on, Samus encounters the last and final Emmy, but this time it has the jump on Samus. This made Samus' arm glow red again, and with the Emmy almost delivering the final blow, Samus was able to grab the needle from the Emmy's skull and suck the life out of the Emmy. Before Samus could fully understand what was happening to her, a Chozo warrior appeared, and as the same with the Emmys, Samus was able to suck the life out of the Chozo warrior as well, eliminating it and then retrieving the power bomb. Speaking with Adam once again, he informs Samus that the way she is able to siphon energy is undoubtedly Metroid in nature. The Metroid DNA inside of her has fully awakened, likely due to her many battles here. With this power, she is ready to confront Ravenbeak. Adam also informs Samus that Ravenbeak is likely at a fortress in the sky high above Hanubia. With that information, and after a final encounter with another Chozo warrior, she makes her way to the fortress located in Itarash. While there, Adam informs Samus that her Metroid DNA has caused her to become a Metroid. The reason why it took Samus a while for her Metroid powers to awaken is likely due to her Thoha genes, as they were the tribe capable to control the Metroids. But though Samus does not possess their DNA, her physical prowess suggests that she may possess Mochan DNA. Metroids are programmed to identify Mochan as enemies, so Adam believes that when Ravenbeak attacked Samus, her metamorphosis occurred, thus awakening her Metroid's killer instinct. Since then, Samus's metamorphosis has accelerated to the point of no control. Samus Aran is now a Metroid, which means possessing a grave threat to the galaxy. Though Adam believes that Samus can still contribute to galactic peace, she just needs to use her new powers correctly. After this conversation, Adam informs Samus that she has done and followed every order on this mission. Adam also states that he was right to let Samus live during their first encounter, but now Samus should submit and offer up her power, as his plan is the only way to bring order to the galaxy. With this, Samus knew this was not Adam. Samus shoots a missile at Adam, revealing to be a hologram, and there where Adam was is Ravenbeak. Samus seems to have been getting a bit of flashback as to what potentially happened to her, as it turns out that Ravenbeak and her were experimented, and Ravenbeak donated his Mochan DNA to her as part of her Chozo augmentation. Samus and Ravenbeak battle out, and as Samus seems to be close to victory, Ravenbeak is able to grab Samus before she is able to use her Metroid abilities on him. It is here where Ravenbeak unveils his plans, as he mentions that at this point he sees no need of Samus and her Metroid abilities, as he instead plans on cloning the strongest Metroid, Samus Aran. As Samus is fading away, she suddenly awakens to her full Metroid abilities, wearing a spiked green and red suit. With this, Samus siphons Ravenbeak, but as well as the floating fortress down towards the planet. On the surface, Samus turns to see a weakened Ravenbeak, who is then suddenly taken over by an X-Parasite. Samus charges up her arm cannon, and thanks to the power of her new suit, is able to shoot a devastating hyper beam shot towards the infected Ravenbeak, eliminating him and the X-Parasite once and for all. With this, a timer for the planet's destruction commences, where Samus was run through Hanubia and make it to her ship. Being able to make it with some time to spare, before she could take full control of her ship, she is stopped by Adam, as if she was to put her hands on the ship, she will siphon the ship's energy as well. Thankfully, Quiet appears out of nowhere, but then allows himself to be fully absorbed by Samus, reverting her suit. It is believed that the X-Parasite, the reason why it couldn't control really Quiet corpse, was due to the strong will and memories of the deceased Chozo overwhelming the parasite's instincts. With this, Samus takes off, fleeing the planet as it explodes in the background. And that, my friends, is the entire story of the Metroid series. It is still pretty unclear where the story will go next, but some people believe that this may be a start of a whole new story arc, where we may see Samus potentially be hunted down, as again, she herself is now considered a Metroid, a giant threat against, the galaxy. Regardless, I'm very excited for what the future holds for Metroid in the entire series, but with that being said, guys, I just want to thank you guys so much for watching. This video has been kind of like a long time in the making for me. I have recently looked back at some of my older videos, and one of the videos or the series that I saw was the story of Metroid. And during this time frame, it was actually I was making these videos before Metroid Dread was even released, and so now I thought that since Metroid Prime 4 is coming out and stuff, and I also would like to make a story of videos for those games as well, I decided let me go ahead and away to kind of test myself, not only redo those stories. Let me go ahead and just remake all those videos, put it all into one video instead, because the previous videos that I made back then were just really short, and maybe go a little bit more somewhat in depth, or at least as much as that I could. Plus also as well, finally do the story of and add Metroid Dread to this. So this is basically the full culmination of the entire Metroid storyline that I myself was able to, of course, gather myself and experience and go through, and what I was able to understand here from the games. If there's something that I missed or whatever, or something that just didn't make sense, feel free to leave a comment, in the comment section down below and let me know. Please, again, like and subscribe, and yeah. So, with that being said, I'll stop rambling. My voice is tired. I'm tired. And, oh, hi, Zuki. And, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye, guys.